Hey y'all, it's Lindsay and I am doing my March and April wrap-up. I didn't feel like I read enough books in March to wrap up. I didn't feel like I read enough in March to do a wrap-up, even though I read like 6 books, so I could have done one, but I didn't. Also, I was just lazy. Like, more the latter is the reason why I did not film the wrap-up last month. But I'm filming both of them today, March and April, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my least to favorite books. I had 1 1-star book, 3 4 stars, 2 3 stars, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 5 stars. I didn't have any 2-star books. So let's get started. The 1-star book this month, and if you watch my vlogs, you already know what this book is going to be, and it is The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. And I feel like this is an unpopular opinion, and it really probably is. I have heard people rave about this book, give it 5 out of 5 stars, say it's amazing, and that is totally fine. I completely respect their opinions. I hated this book. I felt that I was reading A Girl on the Train, and A Girl on the Train was published first. It was the same story, just slightly different situation, and yeah, I don't know, but both of them have a single woman that was recently divorced. They spy on people and make up fake names and fake lives for them that they imagine in their head. They've got some sort of mental illness, and they're alcoholics. So literally there was so much that was similar to A Girl on the Train, and I liked A Girl on a Train better, which I know there's probably going to be several people that disagree with me on that matter, but it's true. I just did not like this book. It wasn't my favorite book at all. It was my least favorite book of the year. And I mean, I hardly ever give books 1 star. So, I mean, I also hadn't slept in 48 hours when I read this. So that might have contributed to my hatred toward this book because I was crabby when I was reading it. But I mean, I know for a fact that if I reread this now on, full 8 hours of sleep, I would still not like it. I'm confident in that. So, yeah, but that is that. Next is my 4 stars. So, let's get, no. I need to reverse that. I need to do my 3 stars next and then my 4 stars. I am so dumb. I did that out of order. I put the 4 stars before the 3 stars. So, that was stupid on my part. I swear to God, I know how to count. So, sorry about that. Now, the 3-star books. The first one, okay, I actually have quite a bit of unpopular opinions in this. Anyways, so sorry if I hurt your feelings. I know that people get annoyed when booktubers say this, but I am genuinely not trying to hurt your feelings. This is just my opinion. If this is your favorite book and I'm not in love with it like you were, I am terribly sorry. If one of these books that I mentioned happen to be your favorite book, then it's nothing personal to you, and I can understand why these books are people's favorite, but they just weren't mine. They were good, I enjoyed them, but they weren't my favorite. So let me stop talking and show you. So the first one is, I'm almost afraid to show this one, to be honest, because is Aristotle and Dante discovered the secrets of the universe. I was expecting to love this book. I didn't. It was meh. I think one problem being that I did not really like Ari that much. He was nice and he was okay, but he annoyed me a lot. He whined a lot. It was like always woe is me, and I just did not like that. And it was the whole time. I feel like I would have given this book a 5 out of 5 stars if they would have changed perspectives between Aristotle and Dante, and if Dante could have done a narrative every now and then, because I liked Dante a lot better, and I just feel like if Ari wasn't solely the narrator in this book, I would have liked it more. The ending, however, I was going to give this book a 2. the ending saved it, and I was deciding to give it a 3 because it was going to be a 2-star. I did not really like it at all, but the ending was so good and beautiful. I loved it. It saved it. So, I mean, it's not a bad book, like I said. It's just not my favorite, and it just disappointed me a lot, because I was expecting this to be my favorite book of all time, and it just wasn't. The next one is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. So, this book, I gave the same rating, a 3-star, to A Court of Thorns and Roses, because it kind of had the same problem. It was really, really slow paced, and it would pick up and then it would die back down. And we had to wait until the end for anything good to happen. And I honestly don't think that anything could have followed A Court of Mist and Fury, because that book was fucking fantastic. But this one, yeah, it just was meh, and I was very disappointed. I wanted it to be amazing. I wanted it to be something that made me cry and made me overjoyed and just feel good all over, and it just left me very disappointed. I felt like I needed more. I didn't feel satisfied after reading it, and this is a conclusion to at least Feyre's character, so I was disappointed in this book. But I mean, still, A Court of Thorns and Roses, it's a great series. You should read it. You love the characters. Sometimes the plot's a little iffy, but the characters, you love the characters. So there's that one. Next are my 4-star books. So the first one, this one actually, I'm still debating on whether or not to give this a 3 or a 4. And that is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. And I know people are probably going to get mad. My mama gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. She has already reread this book. And she just finished it like in April. And she reread it already. So she loves this book. And so do a lot of other people. It was just mediocre for me. I mean, it was fine. It was cute. But it wasn't a 5-star book for me. I don't know why. Maybe I need to reread it because I feel like I'm missing something since everybody else loves it. But I didn't like it. Next, I have Everything by Nicola Yoon. This book was so freaking cute. I thought it was adorable, and it was such a quick read. I got done with it in, like, oh my gosh, I think I read it in just 3 hours. It was wonderful, and it just made me feel really good and happy and bubbly, and it was just perfect. It was perfect, and it was everything that I wanted, and I actually had extremely low expectations for this because I had no desire to see this movie when it the trailer came out. So I had no desire to see the movie when the trailer came out, and therefore I didn't want to read the book. And I was expecting not to like it, and it completely surprised me, and it was wonderful. So this one's a good one. It was great. Next, I have Lair of Dreams by Leva Bray. This is the second book in the Diviners series, and this one was really good. I liked it a lot better than the Diviners. The Diviners I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, but it was more like a 3.5, 3.75. This one was a solid 4, maybe even a 4.25. I know I'm getting picky with my ratings. Don't judge me. It was excellent. It was good. I don't really have anything else to say because I read it a long time ago and I'm having trouble remembering things. Don't like Evie. I don't like her at all. She annoys me. She pisses me off. Love Sam. Jericho, I did love him, but after reading this, I'm a little iffy on him. I love Theta, love Memphis, love Henry, and I love Ling Chang. Love her. They're great. Can't even remember Theta and Evie's other friend. Maybe it's Mabel or something, because Evie calls her Mabesies, I think. So yeah. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the characters, because to me this series is so character driven, so I felt the need to give my opinions on the character more than I do the plot, because that's what sticks out to me. But I mean, the plot was fantastic. It was scary. Like, I found myself like scared to go outside into my hallway to use the bathroom. I thought there was somebody behind the shower curtain, or I thought there was going to be somebody that popped out of a doorway or something, or whatever. I was freaked out. So it was definitely creepy and scary. It made me think of like Insidious and Nightmare on Elm Street combined, specifically Insidious 2. Yeah, so loved it. Now to my 5-star read. So I actually have a children's book here, and it is called A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo, and it is by Jill Twiss and illustrated by E.G. Keller. This is actually a parody to the Pence's illustrated book. I do not have that one, but I actually used to live in Seymour, Indiana, and that is 20 minutes away from Columbus, Indiana, and that is where Mike Pence lived, our vice president. He passed a law in Indiana that restaurant owners had the right to refuse gay customers to like basically do anything for them. They could kick them out of the store, whatever. We all freaked out about that. We hated it. We said it was completely uncalled for. He reversed it because I don't think he was okay with how much pressure people of Indiana put on him to reverse that law, because it was just downright wrong and cruel and gross. He should have never done it. So he's clearly a homophobic person. So this book is about a boy bunny, Mac Pence's bunny, and he falls in love with another boy bunny, and they go to get married. There's this evil stink bug who looks a lot like Mac Pence and he tries to stop them from getting married. The other bugs and animals throw him out, and then they vote on legalizing gay marriage. So it was a beautiful book. I'll be reading it to my children one day to teach love and acceptance. It's important. I think it's a great, great book, and I loved it. So 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. The next book I have is called Beautiful Bastard by Christina Lauren. And this book, I love this so much. I was expecting this to be the 3-star book and The Hating Game to be the 5-star book. And maybe I'm just not a super romantic, because this was a little less romantic and cheesy than The Hating Game. And I also thought this was going to be hardcore porn. It was not at all. There was no BDSM in it. And then someone said that it goes to, you get to page 2 before they start having sex. That's not true. Then somebody said that you can go 5 pages. That's all you go, is 5 pages without there being sex in it. Also, very, very not true. And it would have been fine if one person said that and they were just kidding. But like 5 people, I heard 5 people say the exact same thing about this book. The 5 pages saying and that the sex starts on page 2. They all said the same thing. I don't even know if we have the same book, but this is not that book. And it's not even like, it's just basic what Christian Grey would call vanilla sex. No craziness, no like beating, no anything. And I personally am not into like BDSM, like reading about it that much. I don't enjoy reading about BDSM. It just kind of like freaks me out a little bit. I mean, totally fine if people want to practice BDSM. That's totally their thing, and you know, there's no judgment here. I personally just don't enjoy reading it. So I was really happy to read a novel where it didn't have that. So I loved it. And of course, it started off as my favorite kind of trope, where they hate each other at first and then they love each other. And see, you'd think I would like The Hating Game because of that, and I thought that's why I would like it, because it was my favorite trope, but it wasn't. And he's also a bad boy, and I love the bad boy with the good girl kind of thing trope, except what I loved about the female character in this book, her name was Crowe. She wasn't like the pure maiden, which was great, because, you know, it's not okay for every woman to be portrayed that way. There's all different kinds of women. I am a virgin and love reading about a character that is I can relate to from every now and then, but it doesn't need to be every single woman. It doesn't. So yeah, but I loved this. I reread two of my favorite books of all time, and that is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I'm not going to talk about these very much because I've read them already. Loved it the second time around, 5 out of 5 stars. I read these because I was having some really bad anxiety, and I said, you know what helped you with your anxiety? Harry Potter. So just pick those up again, and maybe you'll be good. And it ended up helping me a lot. 2 more books to go, and then we're done. Catching Fire is the next book I have by Suzanne Collins, and oh my gosh, you guys, I really, really loved this book. The Hunger Games was okay. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. This one blew me out of the water. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was fantastic. I loved it. I loved it. Katniss, I still have issues with Katniss sometimes because she is like, she can be so grumpy and mean to Peeta sometimes, but you know, she was cool in this one, I guess, at times. But there was so many twists in this book that I didn't expect. I even watched the movie in theaters and I still couldn't remember some of the stuff that happened, but I was in middle school. So the last one, this one is probably my favorite new read in a long time, and that is Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crowe by Jessica Townsend. I feel like a lot of magical where the fantasy world is basically magic, it gets compared a lot to Harry Potter all the time. I feel like that happens with every one of those books. But this book seriously made me think of Harry Potter. I wouldn't say that unless I genuinely thought it. It was completely different from Harry Potter, but there was just certain things like Morgan's 11. Right when she turns 11, she gets this visitor at her door telling her she has gifts and whatnot. So, and that's exactly what happened in Harry Potter. And there's so many other things that I can't even think of right now because it's been a while since I've read this. But I loved this book. It was the cutest thing ever, and I love Morgan. She's the sweetest, sweetest, sweetest girl ever, and it was adorable. And oh, and Jupiter is hilarious. Jupiter. I kept picturing him looking like Hagrid because that's who he reminded me of, just because it's the mentor, you know, type. Well, I guess Hagrid wasn't really Harry's mentor, but in the first book, you know, he really looked up to him as somebody who could help him a lot with his place at Hogwarts. So, but yes, I love this book. So that is all for my March and April wrap up. That took a long time. It has been filming, or I have been filming for 20 minutes. My God. So my brother just sneezed. I will see y'all later. Bye.